Hello, and welcome to another Contemplative Living where we bring contemplation into our everyday lives. You know, Spirit once said to me, key into the wonder that holds life open for us. Unlock and swing open the door of awe. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about awe and the wonder that brings into our lives and how it can help us in so many different ways that we didn't even realize that awe is a powerful element in our spiritual path. And so that's what we're talking about, how to cultivate awe. So let's get to it.
Welcome. Now creating a life of peace. This is Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Contemplations and reflections to help with spiritual living. This podcast is made possible by dharmatalks.com.
All right. Well, we've all had moments in our life where we've experienced awe. Whether it was the birth of a child, whether it was just we saw something in nature that was just absolutely so beautiful. I can't believe how awe can reach deeply into our being, into our heart, and affect us in so many positive ways. So awe provides a critical function on our spiritual path. And we don't come to recognize it, but when we choose to live our lives with intention, we're choosing to walk a spiritual path. And this path is not about religion or dogma, but rather about a relationship with the divine. It's a path of self-discovery and growth where we learn to align our lives with our highest values. The spiritual path is not an easy one. No way, I can attest to that, but it's incredibly rewarding. It requires us to let go of our egoic tendencies and open ourselves up to new ways of thinking and being. It challenges us to question our assumptions and our deep-held beliefs, and it invites us to cultivate awe in our lives. It invites us to also bring that awe into a state of wonder and reverence for all life. When we commit to walking the spiritual path, we're saying yes. Yes to a life of adventure and discovery. We're opening ourselves up to new possibilities and new ways of seeing the world. We're choosing to live with intention and purpose, and we're setting out on a journey that will transform us in ways we could never have imagined. Experiencing awe is pleasure through beauty, a moral emotion that makes one prosocial. And there's some evidence to suggest that awe has some very positive effects on our health and well-being. One study found that people who experienced awe were more likely to report increased satisfaction and a greater sense of meaning in life. I mean, that's amazing. Awe is also linked to increased altruism and prosocial behavior. One study found that people who have experienced awe were more likely to help someone in need compared to those who had not experienced awe. So if you're looking for a way to boost your health and happiness, or simply a way to feel more connected to the world around you, try cultivating some awe in your life. So the world is as many things as you can possibly imagine it to be. Our imagination is limited compared to the limitless possibilities that exist in the world, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We can't conceptualize all of the many possibilities. But when we connect to our true nature and we walk out into life with that connection, with that guidance and that knowing, awe is right at hand. So, and it brings us into that state of wonder. And so, witness the infinite complexity of life and allow the beauty to awe you. Allow it to awe you. When was the last time you really looked at a flower and examined all the petals and just really allowed yourself that state of wonder and allowed yourself that reverence of how life can create such a beautiful thing? And then look around you and see the beauty that surrounds us at every moment. It's amazing. And there are times that, we get caught up with everything that's happening in our lives that we stop looking. We stop looking. But that's okay. Because when we go in and we center ourselves, we go into contemplation and we reconnect, then we come back with new shining eyes and are able to see the beauty that's all around us. A mind in awe is humble. It's curious and poised to recognize the nature of reality. When we're in that state of wonder and reverence that awe brings us to, we're on the cusp of reality. We're getting a glimpse into that expansive consciousness that is reality, that many times we've shunted down and we just don't have a connection to. So recognize the practical nature of awe. We often think of awe as something that happens to us when we see something truly breathtaking. However, awe can also be cultivated, and doing so may have some practical benefits. Awe is associated with a sense of vastness and wonderment. When we experience awe, we may feel small and insignificant in comparison to the grandeur of the world around us. This can be a humbling experience, but one that can also leave us feeling more connected to others and to the world at large. Awe is often described as a feeling of reverence or admiration, but it can also be experienced as a practical emotion. In many ways, awe is the opposite of anxiety. While anxiety is characterized by feelings of uncertainty and doubt, awe is associated with feelings of certainty and clarity. Did I get that right? Anxiety is uncertainty and uncertainty and doubt, and awe is certainty and clarity. Awe can be and with that clarity, it's a powerful motivator. It's been shown to increase productivity. Awe can boost our creativity and focus. Additionally, awe has been linked to improved physical health and well-being. While some may view awe as purely emotional, there's evidence to suggest that it's also a practical side. Awe can help us to see the world in new ways and find meaning in our everyday experiences. And isn't that what we really want? We want to get more out of life, more out of everything that we experience. So, in order to do that, we need to be grateful and in awe of the weeds. That's right, the weeds. Weeds are always in our path. But do we take the time to be grateful and awe and look at the beauty of some of those weeds and how they've come to be? Because eventually, when we are in a higher state, when we allow ourselves to rise above the circumstances, eventually those weeds will enrich your practice. It's kind of an amazing thing about life is that we're always finding challenges, right? Challenges come into our life all the time. It's a part of living life. And so using those challenges to grow and to be a better human being is kind of what life's all about, isn't it? When we can take what we've learned, all the experiences that we've had in our life, and allow that to build us into a better being, because we now know what's right. We know what we should be doing. We know a path that's laid out before us, because we can retrospectively see how our life has grown. And awe is an amazing element in that path. It brings us to that state of wonder, of exploration, and of reverence. I invite you to try to bring that state of awe into your life this week. And I hope you have a blessed week. Namaste.
Thank you for listening today to Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Please be sure to subscribe, listen, and share with your friends wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the Podbean app. You can find the links to these on David's website, dharmatalks.com, on the Contemplative Living page. Have a blessed week.